All right, YouTube. So today we're actually in the studio, but it's changed, and I have been working on some things that I wanted to change to just make it easier for me to be able to make videos and get a little bit more breathing room in this room rather than just have stuff everywhere. We have our printing station moved out here now, so being able to print out here, and you obviously can see the displays. A lot of the video editing would happen on this curved display here, and then this has got the channel up, but it has the ability to do more of both of them are IPS panels, so and the both are calibrated, so whenever I'm doing something with it, even if I were to open up Lightroom here and then sort of grab it, and let me see if I can grab it and move it over here. There it is. You can get an idea. That's a beautiful European starling that's captured this morning. Actually on the Nikon ZF, zoomed in. So this video is one where I think many of you don't take it to heart. There's some things in here that I think I need to say, and there are some things I need to, sort of get out there, because I've been doing a lot of thinking for the last few weeks. The state of YouTube is very interesting, and people are very interesting, the ones that comment, the ones that don't, and whenever you make certain things that really educate, lead people down a path where they can truly, get to their photography game to the next level, they don't care, right? But if I make a video about a piece of gear, you get thousands of views without even trying, right? And that's okay. That's what the interest level is. The other thing, actually, a few of you, I had one of you actually very directly in the last, week or so say to me, why do you not talk about computers on your channel? And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, obviously we capture the image, then we have to compute it, do something with it. Some people edit on their phones. A lot of people edit their raw files in the computers. What kind of computers you need and all the latest computer tech? And I said, you mean Apple stuff? I said, yeah, stuff like that. So just so I can level set with you guys, I actually have a computer science degree, and worked my way all the way up to director, almost a VP level, in Fortune 50 companies, large companies. Recently, I also decided to do something for myself and start my own company, because, obviously working for people is one thing, and then if you have that entrepreneurial mindset, eventually you will get there. Not saying that I wouldn't go back to corporate America. I think just need more of a mental break to go do something else and see what we can do. How does that relate to sort of the channel? We will do camera type of things, photography type of things, but I would like to incorporate more of the tech type of things, be it computer related, AI related, those kind of things, and turn this more into a camera tech type of channel. Because from what I am watching. When it comes to photography, everyone already knows everything to know. There's nothing more to learn. They already are experts. You can't really teach them anything. But what I'm also seeing is there's a huge void when it comes to computer type of things. And there are a lot of people that work in the industry and they still don't understand half the things that these computers do and how to buy them. So I'll give you an example. The Apple Mac Mini, right? The computer. For someone that's never been in the Apple system before and truly looking to get in and want a fast enough machine for the next at least 5 years that you're going to have on your desktop, it's a small thing. It's like, that's the box of the one that I just got this week. It's right there, this little thing. Right? So you can get the pro version of this and spend $1,400 on this. Then you have the ones that are, so I guess, just because it's got pro in the name doesn't make it a pro type of thing. It is what it is. If you don't have the aptitude to be a little savvy with computers, with especially Mac OS and things like that, I would suggest that you just buy your external storage, or not even external storage, internal storage, upgrade it, all of that. Just do it with Apple. Yes, it's the most expensive way to go. However, if you do have a little bit of experience with things, we can talk about many different ways that you can achieve very similar results without breaking your bank. So I bought the base model for $599, but it has an M4 chip and only has 16 gigs of unified memory. But 16 gigs of unified memory is almost equal to like 64 gigs on an Intel machine. It's crazy. Yes, on the Pro you get more memory, more hard drive, faster this, you get Thunderbolt 5, all of these different things. I'm just rambling. Is that going to help me? And I'm a pretty tech savvy guy. I think I am. I hope so. Being a computer science major. These M4 chips are so far beyond anything that's available on the Intel side of the house and this and that. It just blows it to water, right? But a lot of people are very confused. Should I buy the $599 and or pay $1,400? Why am I paying that? If it's up to me, with the level of experience that I have with them, I would just buy 2 Mac Minis and put them in different areas of the home, rather than buy 1 Pro. But then again, you have to know how to do your thing. You got to either create a second user on there and then, make sure your home drive is actually pointing not to this, because the base model only comes with a 256 gig hard drive. It doesn't have the 512 gig. So you have to know how to manage that. And honestly, 256 gigs to manage Mac OS is plenty. I don't need to save all my applications and all that crap on this thing anyway. What a lot of people don't understand is they pay all this money to Apple, which is like highway robbery for certain things. But if you've never owned a Mac before, go for the Pro, because it really will keep you from wanting more later, and you should be good to go for a while. I have 4 Macs in this home, so it doesn't matter to me. It's not my first one, right? I have a M3 Pro that you guys saw, the MacBook, and love that machine. So I've got plenty of options. If you don't have that option, you're going in for your first one, start with the base model Mini and follow some of the videos that I'm going to actually make showing you how you can literally take that 256 gig and make it into a 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, beast for less than $700, somewhere in that range, $700 to $800. And that's hard to beat. And then obviously you got to get a good monitor and things like that. You don't get that with the Pro either. But that's just an example. So a lot of people want to tap into sort of this, technological things of what is a binned chip versus a non-binned chip, well, full version or a binned, all these things. So we'll talk about those things, because some people that have been in the industry for a while, they still don't understand what binning is when it comes to CPUs in these machines. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Some brands do it a certain way, others do it another way. But it is what it is. Just like, Sony, Canon, Nikon type of thing. It's the same thing. But at the end of the day, the root of it all is the same. So I wanted to bring a lot more of the tech pieces into it. And then I would like to also invest a little bit into what's happening in the AI front and what's going to happen. Not just from photography, but just in technology. Because a lot of these tools here, like this M4, if you're really trying to do any kind of AI modeling and things like that, you need minimum an M4. Even the M3s, get hot, right? But the M4 is really, really good with Apple Intelligence and things like that. So we can talk about a lot of those things if you have interest. The other thing this will do is it will also allow you to understand the entire ecosystem from a tech perspective of taking that photo in that camera, getting it into your computer, again, tech, and then trying to print it out here. So that's my entire workflow. Actually, it's funny. I told you about the ZF. Here it is. It's actually mounted with the 200 to 600 Sony lens. And that was captured early morning at sunrise on the 200 to 600 on the Nikon ZF. Go figure, right? But then again, obviously the image did not look like that. So you have to know how to edit, not blowing things out. You don't have any blinkies going on. Yeah, these are the kinds of things you have to really understand. And when you don't edit properly and don't shoot raw, a lot of these things are going to become problematic, especially in a bird like this where you have subtle whites in there and a ton of color. So it just looks beautiful. Anyway, I'm digressing, but that's sort of what I would like to do. Let me know if what are your thoughts of bringing tech in there too, tech type of things in there, and doing those type of reviews too, because I know many of you buy cameras too, and then they buy technologies things and are confused too. It's like, how do I use my camera with this thing? How do I use my camera with that thing? Or how do I use this piece of technology with sort of the gear that I have? What do I do with it? So it'll probably become more of a how-to type of thing, more, and camera tech, AI, like mashing together into one platform, almost like a technology lab, if you want to call it that, a playground for all of us. And I am considering some new options of names for the channel, because I do want to take it into a very different direction, and obviously, get new audiences in here that like different kinds of things. So you also get more variety, right? Now we talk about camera stuff too, but then we talk about other stuff too. So then it gives you a break from the same old rut every single time when you come back here. And it also keeps me a little bit more on my toes from a computer tech perspective, AI perspective, and obviously the camera front. So there it is. That's all I have to say. More videos on the M4 Mini coming, a Mac Mini. And if you haven't bought one, just wait till those videos actually publish in the next few days. Watch it and then decide which one it is. And the Pro might be the one for you. It wasn't for me because I'm savvy enough where I got it home, and now it's like a 2 terabyte beast over, 20 minutes, within 20 minutes. and I can show you how to do that. So if you have interest in that, great. And if you need the Pro, you need Thunderbolt 5, which we don't even have a lot of devices for, then go for the Pro. The Pro is definitely more future-proof than this guy is, especially with Thunderbolt 5. But for me, Thunderbolt 4 is plenty, and I don't really have any need for Thunderbolt 5. That's the only reason why. And for $600, I don't care. I can, give it to my son in a year and buy another one. I'm sure they'll come up with more things. So, but that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you. I hope you like this new setup. Comment below. Thank you.